obviously there are steps where it's not possible or practical, but that sentiment isn't anywhere in the current language either. There are many more steps where the public is involved, but
If you let us tinker with it, maybe we can come up with something like every appropriate step or something like that. If you give us a chance, maybe we can amend it
Okay.
next meeting or something. That'd be great. Anyone else from the public? Yes, Flo.
Paul Christie, CHRYSTIE, with the Coalition for Affordable Housing and the Environment. I'm somewhat amused by the role reversal of John saying that we're not near where we need to be, and I'm saying, no, I think you're pretty close. I think on the affordable housing, you've done it the right way, that it's a constitutional requirement. You want your land use ordinances to be, as Ben has put it, bulletproof if they're going to be endorsed. But you've put it at the end of the process so that a town doesn't have to petition, find out that they need to change their land use ordinances, redo all of their fair share plan and housing element, and then re-petition COA. So I think you've done it at the right point in the process. The one suggested change that I would have is in what was out on the table today on page 22. One of the desired documents you've got is a growth share ordinance. And as COA implemented them, growth share ordinances, they're essentially what they aim to accomplish will be accomplished, incorporated into the zoning ordinances which you require. And growth share ordinances range from useful to dumb to unconstitutional. And so given that what the growth share ordinance is designed to accomplish is going to be in the zoning ordinance, and that there are locales and instances in which the growth share ordinance is inappropriate and will not produce the desired result, I think you're covered with the zoning ordinance, and my recommendation would be that we delete that from the list of desired documents so as not to prompt towns to adopt an ordinance that might not make sense for them.
I'm all in favor of deleting your requirement.
Anybody?
Just for the
Anybody opposed to it? Anybody opposed to deleting the requirement?
Not a process.
Sorry.
I said not a process.
Sorry.
I just said not a process.
Then let us take a stab at the whole plan.
I mean, I think it's a great suggestion.
I do too.
It makes perfect sense.
Noting the role reversal for Mr. Christie suggesting
Yeah.
less rules for the municipality. Absolutely.
Anytime, John. Thank
Anybody?
you.
Tracy, you got that? Oh, I'm sorry. Ken?
I know we're pressed for time. I need a little or I would ask for a little clarification of this. Round 3 requires this. I'm not sure what we're removing and why. And maybe Mr. Christie can share that, or am I the
I
only
don't want
one?
to speak for Paul.
No, and this is one reason why we have a problem with it is because COA has mushed together the development of the obligation and the way that you provide it. Growth share is a mechanism by which you determine what the fair share obligation of the municipality is. The way they did a growth share ordinance is it's essentially a zoning ordinance. It's essentially saying that you will have, in their old rules, 1 in 8. So even if COA sticks with a growth share methodology for determining the obligation, eliminating this method, this concept of how you provide, meet that obligation, doesn't conflict with what COA will come up with. I don't know if I explained that very well. I confused myself at the end. But there are two different things that COA has sort of squished together that confuses it. So eliminating the growth share ordinance as a desired document will not conflict with COA's third round rules, even if they continue to use a growth share methodology. They're two different parts of the process.
Paul, is there another document that should be desired? Or
No, I think you've got it covered because you've got the petition, you've got the fair share plan, and you've got the zoning ordinances. So all of the mechanisms to comply with the constitutional obligation are in there. I just think that the growth share ordinance is superfluous at best and undermines the goal at worst.
You know, Paul, if he's saying we don't need it.
The only issue I have is there's an excellent description of master plan requirements, part of which is the housing element, the other part is something called zoning consistency that really doesn't do, it never was intended to do what it really should do, which is, we have a master plan, we have visioning, we have all these great planning tools. And I'm not sure, it's hard to read all these documents and absorb it, but I'm not sure if we ever get a document that says, this is what we want to achieve and what we plan to achieve. Here's our zoning ordinance, and this is what we're lacking. I'm not so troubled by the growth share, but the fact that we don't have a direct correspondence between our vision, our master plan, our housing element, and eventually, I mean, it speaks directly to affordable housing, which is a large part of this redevelopment plan of ours. So, and this is obviously, this can't be resolved now, but I would ask the Office of Smart Growth to look. One place is the zoning consistency, which has always been sort of a throwaway kind of thing. Do you need the access code? Are you surrounding communities that are consistent? But with specificity, here's our zoning ordinance, here's our vision and master plan. How do we bring these two together? And for decades, I think COA requirements have been circumvented by that inconsistency, and it's deliberate in some instances, it's not in others, but I think this office Office of Smart Growth, when you review it, and I know that you do in a way, but should formalize that into a planning tool.
Ken, just to address those specific concerns, our goal through plan endorsements is to make sure that every municipality that is endorsed has a credible housing plan that includes meeting its affordable housing obligation as part of its base suite of regulations, zoning ordinances, and planning. So that a town that leaves us will have credibly addressed its affordable housing obligation, as well as housing as an issue within the community in total. So that it will not be done as an afterthought. No one will be able to skate through, no one will be able to circumvent the rules through clever application of regulation. That this is, I think what Paul's getting to is that the requirement of a growth share ordinance is a growth share ordinance may be an appropriate mechanism, but to require it is not the right thing to do, because it may be part of that holistic view or that comprehensive approach to meeting their housing obligation within the community. So that is our approach, and that's exactly how we work with communities. So that any community that passes through us will have addressed all of its housing issues before we recommend to this commission that they be endorsed.
I'm fine. The growth share is sort of a separate issue.
Right.
I'm not even sure why we're requiring it. It's state law, there's COA submissions. It's certainly indirectly part of the plan endorsement, so I'm fine.
Okay, so we've all agreed to amend it. Any other questions or comments
On the resolution.
on the resolution? Correct.
On the resolution, question, two questions, I guess.
Mr. Barnes?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not going to count, but the next to the last whereas, resolution 2007-05, next to the last whereas on the first page refers to state planning rules adopted in 2004. Does that need to reflect, is there another whereas that reflects adopted rules today? That should go in there? If there is, I move we insert that. Second question is, there's on the second page, in the first now therefore be it resolved, it refers to plan endorsement guidelines that were dated September